No, sir. The clay contract has not been signed.
Well, why not? Oh, God, don't you go blaming this. You've had 2 days to fix it.
Mr. Granger, the agent, never came back, sir.
Well, then why haven't you tried to contact him? Hey, oh, look, this can all wait. That contract can't. Would have had to tell Tupman that.
Truth is, sir, I did hear that the contract had been placed elsewhere.
Nonsense, we won it.
Even so, sir.
Who did you hear it had been given to then?
Lady Fogarty, your sister, sir.
My sister? Given to my sister? Oh, my God, if I... Oh.
Sir, Mr. Onedin.
From now on, it's milk and fish for him.
No, thank you very much.
James.
There's naught wrong with me.
Except for an ulcer in your stomach, which will only get worse unless you live more calmly and worry less.
Indigestion, that's what it is. I know the cure for that. First chip out and I'll be on her.
What you need is rest, man.
Look, I can't afford to be idle. Business isn't that good.
It's thriving, James, and you know it. He's just moved his office into new and bigger premises.
You could even less afford to be bedridden, sir. Think on that. I shall call again early next week.
Well, do so by all means. Of course, I can't guarantee to be here.
If that ulcer were to happen to burst while you were aboard ship, Mr. Onedin, I couldn't guarantee you'd ever come home again, either.
Dr. Porton said no spirits.
Not to me, he didn't.
Well, he did to me.
Well, then you can do the abstaining.
Why do you seek his advice when you have no intention of following it?
I didn't. It was you who insisted he come here.
Because, as he has just confirmed, there's something plainly the matter with you.
Yeah. Nothing that a good sea breeze won't put right.
James, you can't mean it. Now listen. It is time to stop all this gallivanting around the world. Oh, for heaven's sake, you're not some young adventurer out to make his first fortune.
Aye, and I'm not about to lose the one I've made either.
I was talking to Dr. Porton about my plans.
Dr. Porton, let's not hear any more about
my plans for a children's home. He's agreed to advise me.
Well, let's hope he's of more use to you than he was to me.
Sarah, you're home.
We thought to surprise
Well,
you.
you have. Now, when did you return?
Yesterday.
Oh, you must have so much to tell us. Elizabeth, please, both of you, come sit down. Well, how are you, James?
Come to gloat, have you?
Over what?
That contract was mine.
What contract? Oh, that contract. Well, it was offered to me.
Aye, but I won it. Why, damn it all,
But what
Elizabeth,
you
if we're
say,
going to
James,
start
remember
stealing
what
each other...
Dr. Porton said.
Oh, if I hear any more about Dr. Porton, I'll...
What did he say?
Nothing!
Just that James
Sure.
is not well because he overexcites himself and he worries too much.
Little wonder, when my partner runs off with my daughter and my own sister runs off with all my
Oh, you're
contracts.
insufferable, James Onedin. I wish I had taken it.
Insufferable, am I? Oh, that's not what I could... I beg your pardon?
I said the contract was offered to me, but I declined it. Well, at the end of the day, I decided it would be barely profitable, unless I could be guaranteed return cargoes, which wasn't the case, so I turned it down.
When?
2 days ago.
James, where are you going?
Mr. Onedin, the last I knew of the matter was that the contract had been placed elsewhere.
And now I'm telling you different. I'd like to think you might do something about it.
The Honourable Viscount Marston is here, sir. Is he convenient?
Better show him in.
You come this way, sir. Viscount Marston, sir.
Onedin.
Good afternoon.
Not caught you at an inopportune moment, I hope.
Well, take a seat.
Oh,
What can I do for you? Oh.
I'm told that a vessel of yours sailed recently with a passenger on board. Man by the name of Bullen.
Might well have done.
I'd like to know.
Why?
Well, there are matters outstanding between Mr. Bullen and I which make me anxious to trace him.
Lock! Get aloft! Lock, I said, get aloft!
Well, it sounds exhausting to me. And then were we thinking you'd gone for a rest?
I had no idea your cousins were such gadabouts.
We'd quite decided you were never coming home again.
Letty, would you and James be free to come to tea on Sunday?
As far as I know. Although I doubt you'll be glad of James's company unless his mood and manners improve somewhat.
Oh, yes, well, it's most important he be civil, but I do so want you both to come.
Sarah has invited somebody special.
Who?
Well, I've tried to wheedle it out of her, but she simply refuses to say.
It's just a friend I met in Bath. Someone I want you most all particularly to meet.
James will be on his very best behaviour. I promise.
He booked a passage to Roscoff aboard the Sun and Larsen, sir. And they call first at Concarneau to offload coal. Should be there possibly tomorrow or the day after. And then on to pick up onions at Roscoff. Say by Wednesday next.
Right, thank you, Dawkins. That'll be all.
I want Bullen brought back to this country. Oh, there's still time. You'll have a cable waiting for them in Concarneau, telling your captain to keep Bullen aboard.
I expect I could, yes.
I would be greatly obliged.
Oh, sure you would, but I'd still like to know why.
I'm not a vindictive man, but as you'll appreciate, it's not good business to be thought an easy mark. Bullen cheated me out of a considerable sum of money.
How did he do that?
Oh, he sold me timber. Pit props for the mine. Unfortunately, it wasn't his to sell. Seems he was a woodsman on an estate in Cheshire, which was sold recently. When the new owner came to take stock, he found his woods decimated. He accused me of buying stolen property, and as a result, I've had to pay for those pit props twice.
Well, if you pay for his return passage plus a sum for our trouble.
Hardly.
Well, then I don't see how I can help you.
I would have thought a contract to carry 500 tons of clay a month would have been compensation enough.
What's clay got to do with it?
Oh, I bought Imperial staffs 2 months ago. Any contract to carry that clay is a contract with me.
So, it was you who offered that contract to my sister.
Yes. Now, if you give me Bullen, you can have the contract, but not otherwise.
Dawkins?
Yes, sir?
Send a cable to Captain Baines via the agent in Concarneau, if you please.
It's not uncommon to run into squalls in these parts. With a bit of luck, it might have blown itself out by morning.
Don't bother me. Don't know why. Maybe something to do with always being up trees as a lad. Move about a lot in the wind, do trees.
What takes you to France, Mr. Bullen?
Never been there. Never been anywhere. I've heard it's hot in the south.
Just adventure then, is it?
Aye. I thought, go somewhere where easy to get back from, till I knew if I were man for it. And if I am, it's America for me. Oh, good. I'm hungry.
Nothing like the sea to give you an appetite, Mr. Buck.
You been at sea long then, sir?
Since I was about the same age as young Tom here.
Ah, but you were never young like me, Captain, was you? Thought you'd always been a codger.
Well, come and help us then instead of just gawping. You bugs, you Jimmy Look! You Nancy Lee!
I'm not eating milk and fish.
It is for your own sake, James. You'll thank us for it when you find the pain's no longer there. Though knowing you probably won't. For if you can be as rude as you were to Elizabeth and Sarah yesterday...
They know me well enough.
That's no excuse! Anyway, I hope you're going to be in a better mood on Sunday. Sarah has a surprise for us. There's someone she wants us all to meet, and if that means what I think it does, we don't want you making an exhibition of yourself.
Letty, if there was a ducking stool handy, I'd put you in it.
James Onedin. If I've become a nag wife, it's because you are the most stubborn, the most unreasonable man I've ever met. You're pig-headed, you're selfish, you trample on people's feelings, and you completely take me for granted. Oh, but all that wouldn't matter if only we could share in something again like we used to. Because otherwise, I'm going to go on getting more and more jealous and resentful, and not over some other woman, but over your damn ships. Isn't that the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard?
Look, if I seem unreasonable, it's because I've got Charlotte on my mind.
I know, and I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. Shouldn't complain. Least of all to you, Letty Got.
I'd almost forgotten I was ever called that.
Well, I hadn't. Puts me in mind you didn't have to take me. I should be grateful.
James.
No, from now on I shall reform. Milk and fish, let it be. Anything you say. Come Sunday, I shall be as proper as you've ever seen me.
For God's sake, somebody help me! He's gone loony, look! He's trying to croak me! Lock, I'll strip your masthead. Put it down, Lock. Don't stand there, Eastrop's. Get the captain. Drop it, Lock. Drop it, I'll put you under the hatches, man. Put it down. Drop it, Lock. Don't spend all the time on the hatches. Put it down, Lock. I'll put you under the hatches, man. Put it. Get the captain! Mr. Bale! Captain Baines! Captain Baines!
No!
He's gone mad! No!
going on, Mr. Beale?
It's locked, sir. He's going to kill the lad. He's been acting funny ever since we sailed. Reckon maybe he's that peppered. He's gone off his head with it.
Why the devil haven't you reported this before? I'm breaking out a rifle.
He'll be too late. Don't go, sir. The man's gone loony.
Stop him, Gov, please!
Who the devil?
It's Mr. Bullen, sir.
Get out of the way, Mr. Bullen! Get away or I can't shoot!
Look. That knife of yours. Looks good and keen. Let's have a look. Show us, Mr. Locke. Let's go down now. Shall us?
He said I put a dead rat in his grub.
Well, did you?
No, sir.
Well, then why'd he say it? Bad blood between you, was there? Well, what does that mean? Yes or no?
Well, he got it in for me, hadn't he?
Why?
Because he was mad.
Hey. All right.
The man were mad.
Hey.
He must have been.
There's one thing, though. Not many landlubbers could have shimmed out the mast like you did, Mr. Bullen. You're a born sailor.
Told you. Always up trees, a lad.
Yeah. I reckon there's something you've got to say to Mr. Bullen, isn't there, eh? Eh? And I hope you know what it is.
Thanks, mister.
Why'd you do it?
What?
Feed him that dead rat.
Pay him back for tipping that gubbins over me.
You're a right little fibber, aren't you? Don't worry. I won't tell Captain.
Anything you want, Governor. You just give me the wink.
Right.
Letty, James, I would like you to meet Captain Arbuthnot Dampier.
Captain.
How do you do? Mr. Onedin. It's a privilege to meet you both. Mrs. Onedin spoke of you often and with great regard.
Very charitable of her. So what are you, Navy?
Retired, sir.
Are you resident in Bath, Captain?
No, I merely happened to be there on a short visit at the same time as Mrs. Onedin.
The captain extended his visit by several days entirely on my behalf.
No more than a day or two, perhaps, but the pleasure was all mine, dear lady, I assure you.
James. You know, we'd decided that Sarah was never going to come home again.
Then I must apologize for being so
So,
selfish and keeping her from
how's business then, eh, lad?
Well enough.
Attentive and generous companion, you couldn't.
Shall I pour you one, Uncle?
No, it's not allowed.
Gratified, Mum, but truly it is...
That won't bring her back, you know.
Thank God.
Getting groggified won't help either.
What do you think of Mother's admirer?
Is that what he is?
Oh, yes. The notion of becoming my stepfather was...
You are too modest, Captain. Please come and sit down.
She even encourages him.
James, come and tell the captain all about your fleet.
Sure, we should all be much more interested to hear of Captain Dampier's own adventures. Captain Dampier commanded a frigate, James.
How many guns?
45 on my last command.
Oh, a tidy size.
Only regret is never had occasion to fire in anger.
Oh, but you did see action.
Oh, yes, dear lady, I thank God for it.
Crimea?
You have it, sir. Sevastopol and Azov. Proud to be able to say I was there.
When did you resign your commission, Captain?
Only last year, ma'am. I had the good fortune to be left a small estate by an uncle. It tempted me to forget my notions of duty, and I fear I succumbed.
Oh, I'm sure that no one here regards that as anything but a just reward.
Oh, Ma'am.
Don't you find that you miss the sea, Captain?
I must confess not, Lady Fogarty.
Surprised me.
Ah, but the truth is, sir, I have never forsaken it.
The captain was also left a steam yacht, James.
Steam yacht.
The Amazon, sir. And at risk of giving offense to the pride of your fleet, I'll wager you've never seen such a pretty.
Oh, where's she moored?
Not 6 miles from where we are now.
Oh, wouldn't mind having a little look round her sometime, eh?
Then perhaps I might make a suggestion. Saturday next, I'd be more than honored if you'd all be my guests aboard the Amazon. Show you her paces.
Oh, yes.
Well, that's what everybody else wants.
Oh, we wouldn't dream of disappointing you, James.
That's why she invited him home. For us to meet him. She wants all objections settled before she says out.
Do you? Object.
Samuel does.
Oh, poor Samuel. Yes, well, I can quite see why he might.
Feels a sight too damn sorry for himself, that lad. Thought he had more backbone.
Well, it's your daughter that brought him so much unhappiness.
Ah, and I'll get her back for him.
Has that ever occurred to you that it might not solve anything?
Well, what else should I do then, eh?
Anyway, I think Captain Dampier a very pleasant man.
Aye, well, at least he's got an estate. Can't be after her money. That's all that worried me.
Guff?
You looking for me?
You see Mr. Bullen?
He's gone ashore to post a letter. Said to tell you he'd be right back.
Well, I'll go and wait for him on deck then.
Hey, any cables for us? Well? Know what it's about, do you? Now, I've told you before, just because you can read doesn't mean to say that you can go on opening every letter. Wanted for thieving.
What are you going to do, Guff?
Do? There's nothing I can do. I just do what I'm told.
But he saved my life. Please, Captain, do not press me.
But, dear lady, surely I'm not saying anything that has not already been expressed between us. Perhaps in other ways, but plain enough.
I know, I know.
Are you saying your feelings to me have changed, Mom?
No. No, not at all.
Well, then. Oh, I have no great gift of words, dear lady. But we have both known the grief and loneliness of bereavement. And do we not both yearn for companionship once more?
Oh, yes.
That is all I seek. The honor of giving you my name and protection, and whatever comfort is in my power.
The honor would be all mine, Cat.
Well, then, providing no one among your family objects, which I venture to hope is indeed the case.
No, but Robert does.
Robert?
My husband.
Your late husband? He objects.
Well, I had to ask him.
How do you and he manage to communicate, dear lady?
Through Mr. Pilgrim. He's a medium. You have no idea of the comfort he's given me since Robert died. Just to be able to speak to... But this time, though I pleaded and pleaded he would not be moved, he simply will not countenance the idea of us marrying.
And this he told you through Mr. Pilgrim?
I am not responsible for the messages, Captain. I merely pass them on.
You're a rogue, sir. Growing fat on the grief of others.
There are many who share your view, but I content myself in the knowledge that those who have needed me would not agree.
Nobody needs your damn trickery, least of all Mrs. Onedin.
Then all she need do is never return.
Oh, yes, sir. Just once more. To hear you admit that all these messages from Robert are a pack of lies.
But they aren't.
Damn it, sir, you will not sell a pack of them to me.
Don't be afraid to strike, sir. I shall not hit back.
If it's your reputation you seek to protect, I'd agree you simply tell her that the last message you gave her was a mistake.
How could I do that?
Let me make it easy for you. Enough?
Even were I still poor, I could not accept. And how much less is the need now?
If I ever hear you dared to upset Mrs. Onedin again with any more of your lies, I'll have your horse whipped. Good day to you.
Not seen much of you since we left Concarneau.
Well, I've been busy, haven't I?
Oh. Well, when is due in Roscoff?
Tomorrow. If I were you, I'd go over the side as soon as we're close to land.
You mean swim? Why?
Because the old man got a cable about you, didn't he?
Hey?
That's biscuits and water and 2 shillings off your pay, lad.
Captain Bynes will never break the what?
Here. What's going on?
He's gonna jug you.
I'm afraid that from tonight I have to confine you to your cabin, Mr. Bullet.
Why?
I have orders to take you back to England again.
What for?
Thieving.
Thank you.
I hope you don't object.
I hope you don't object to my intruding in your home. For some reason, having failed with China clay, it's become important for me to find a new means of tempting you.
Isn't our coal and steel agreement enough?
Not when there are so many ways. There must be so many ways that you and I could be beneficial to one another.
I hope there are.
They call this the age of the Iron Men. You are the first Iron Woman I've known.
I must have had prettier compliments.
But none more complimentary.
My brother regarded your offering that clay contract to me as being decidedly below the belt.
He'll find himself left behind if he isn't careful. But not you or I. While we're cracking the ring of the New World, where will he be?
Battling round Cape Horn.
An entire railway system to Chile. Rolling stock and track. Could you do it?
How much and how long?
1,000 miles of railway over 6 years.
Are you building or merely supplying? I asked to know simply whether that's your own estimate or someone else's.
Oh, building. Blasting, spanning, carving, right through the Andes.
You shall have our tender just as soon as Mr. Dunwoody has comprehensive details. We'll freight you rolling stock and track, sir, as much as you like and to wherever you like. It doesn't daunt me.
Good. And now I'll intrude no longer. Oh, do you hunt, Lady Fogarty? I know how well you ride. But do you hunt?
Why?
I have an invitation to ride with the Pendlevale meet this weekend. We should stay at Clitheroe Castle.
We, sir?
Were you to do me the honor of being my guest?
Thank you, but no. I'm not over fond of hunting fox, and besides, I think perhaps I've been tempted enough for one day.
She's a nice toy.
Toy? She'll hold her course in any seaway zone. Turn on her sixpence if required. She's the joy of my life.
You certainly keep her in good shape. I'll give you that.
Wouldn't you, sir? Wouldn't you?
Are you sure you don't want to take a turn round the deck, Sarah? Join the others?
No, I'm quite comfortable here, thank you.
Come, come, Mother. I'm sure he's wondering why you aren't hanging on his arm. My future stepfather?
Samuel.
Well, really, Aunt Letty, it's all so preposterous.
I'm not sure it's any of your business.
Though it is, of course, Uncle James's, or yours, and Aunt Elizabeth's. Whereas I'm only her son. After all, it's only the memory of my father she's insulting.
How
Samuel,
dare
don't.
you? Just because your own happiness has been spoiled doesn't mean your mother mustn't be happy. Or are you so selfish that's what you want? And don't you think you've had enough of that?
No, not yet. Not if I'm to stomach that strutting buffoon out there all day.
Well, James said I shouldn't feel sorry for you. And today I've stopped.
You're right, she's damn quiet. For a steamer.
Ah, you've noticed it. When I show you the engines, you'll see the reason why. I've had them converted to triple expansion.
Must have cost a bit.
Worth every penny. More speed for less consumption. And one less stoker to pay.
And less coaling stops.
Exactly.
So, what else have you had done?
Complete refit, stem to stern. You must see the galley. You ladies particularly.
James, I think you ought to talk to Samuel. He's become quite impossible, and Sarah's very upset.
Forgive me, Mum. I know I should not interfere, but I think we should not blame the young man entirely. Your sister-in-law has been distressed for several days. I was hoping not to have to burden any of you, but it has to do with a man named Pilgrim.
Frightened. Is that it? Frightened that if my sister-in-law gets married again, you might lose her patronage, eh? Well, you've done very well, thanks to her, haven't you?
I don't expect you to believe this, Mr. Onedin, but over the past year or two, as my situation has become, shall we say, more comfortable, thanks certainly in part to Mrs. Onedin, I have actually felt my powers diminishing. And no money can compensate for that.
Oh, you mean you can't make contact anymore, huh?
Not
always.
What happened the last time Mrs. Onedin came to you then, eh?
That day I experienced no difficulty. Your brother was quite adamant that she should have nothing more to do with the captain.
Well, now, listen here, Pilgrim. I don't care whether these messages that you give to these folks are genuine or not. I don't even care if my brother, if he is up there, approves of my sister-in-law's behavior or not, because it's nothing to do with him. He's there and she's here. And if she wants to get married again, I think he ought to have the good grace to let her get on with it.
But he loves her. Whatever he says is only for her good.
Oh, how do you know then, eh? How do you know that he's not doing it out of spitefulness? Jealousy.
Because he is in a state of grace.
Oh. Tell me, Pilgrim, do you never make contact with bad spirits?
He's your brother, sir.
Aye, and when he was alive, he was a stubborn, cantankerous, overblown fool. Now, why should I think that he's any different now? You think on that. Meantime, I'm going to ask you, very reasonably, not to give any more advice to my sister-in-law from Robert.
I'm not sure that I can.
Because if you do, I'm going to lay so many charges of fraud against you, you'll be in prison for the next 20 years. Ask Brother Robert what he thinks about that.
You mean it's all agreed? Oh, I am so pleased. It's wonderful news. Oh, the best. When is it to be?
Oh, well, we have no actual date as yet, though we had thought of my birthday.
Oh, I think that's a lovely idea.
So no sooner does Sarah move in than I am to lose her again.
Well, I just thank the Lord that happiness comes to those who deserve it.
Oh, I wish I thought I did.
Oh, more than most. And now that there are no more obstacles in the way, you must just enjoy it.
Tom! Tom! Damn him!
God.
With the help of young Tom, they've both skipped it.
How would you like to tell Viscount Marston that you brought this man Bullen all the way home and then lost him at Liverpool docks? Dawkins!
Can I say something?
Oh, I doubt you can say anything that's going to make me feel better.
Yes, sir.
Glass of milk, if you please, Dawkins.
I'm sorry about your China clay contract, and I'm sorry young Tom couldn't be trusted. But I'm not sorry the man's gone.
What?
He struck me as being a grand young fella. I liked him. He was good company. The kind of young bloke you were once, probably, before you learned to get your own way all the time.
I see.
And I'm not sorry he's gone because I couldn't make him out to be a thief or a cheat.
Well, then you tell Marston that, will you?
What you got?
Bullen?
Mr. Onedin, I haven't stolen nought, ever. Except maybe a few apples where I were a lad like. So, I want to know who says different. Because they're lying.
Take a seat, will you? You sell pit props to a man named Charles Marston.
I sold timber to his mine.
Says they weren't yours to sell. Says they belong to an estate in Cheshire.
Where I worked, aye. Let me tell thee, that estate were damn near bankrupt. There were folk on it like me, hadn't seen a wage for nigh on 2 years. So when the old fellow who owned the place knew he was dying, he got us all together and he told us, he said, we could each of us take from the estate whatever was of use. Them were his words. So most folk took a couple of pigs or a cow and cleared off. But I waited, see who new owner was. Well, weren't no but old feller's nephew. All he wanted was to sell place fast for whatever he could get. That weren't a right lot. He sold it to a merchant bank called Beaumont's. All they were interested in was stripping everything they could sell and building new houses on the land. So I thought, right, I'll take just what the old feller said I could. And I started felling timber.
That's the cheekiest story I've ever heard.
He said whatever were of use.
Oh, but even so...
Aye, but can you prove it?
I don't know if I ever put in writing. Only person who'd know that. Old fella's nephew.
Remember his name?
Aye. Funny sounding name it were. He were a sailor. Dampier. Summat Dampier.
Captain Arbuthnot Dampier.
That's him.
Oh, it's lovely. But surely, if it belonged to your wife, you don't want me
I
to...
should be honored, ma'am.
Oh, it's lovely. It's beautiful. Elizabeth, look at this lovely ring. Hello, Jane.
Sarah, it's my turn to do the flowers in church this Sunday, and the garden's looking rather bare. I wonder, could you come and advise me?
Oh, do you mind?
Not in the least. Sir.
Glad to have a chance of a word with you, Captain. I've been presented with something of a problem, and as luck would have it, I think you're just the fellow that can help me.
Any way I can.
Aye, well, do you happen to know if your uncle, the one that owned the estate, made provisions for his estate workers?
Well, there was nothing in the will to that effect.
Oh, pity.
Although they were paid off in some way. Yes, now I recall, I remember hearing mention of some kind of unwritten understanding, whatever that might mean.
Unwritten understanding? Good. Well, you solved my problem. I'm obliged.
I wish problems could always be resolved that easily.
Aye. Tell me, did I hear right that your uncle's estate was practically bankrupt?
Well, not exactly bankrupt, no.
But close enough. And that when you sold it, you didn't get much of a price?
The one does follow the other.
You've spent quite a lot on that yacht of yours. How much is left?
Very little. I'll withdraw, of course.
Aye.
I am genuinely very fond of your sister-in-law. I would have cared for her greatly.
But that wasn't your first consideration.
No, the Amazon, she's...
expensive to run. My sister-in-law's a wealthy woman.
Just so. No doubt you think I'm a scoundrel. Oh, probably I am.
I don't blame you. I think you would have cared for her, looked after her, but... you see, I can't let it go on.
No, of course not.
One from me, one from Lady Fogarty. Should help you keep the Amazon afloat a little longer.
I couldn't possibly accept them, sir.
Of course you can. You take them and your yacht. A long, long way away.
I don't understand.
Dear lady,
What has James been saying to you?
the truth, ma'am,
What truth?
that I have deceived you wickedly.
No, you haven't.
It was your fortune, dear lady.
I don't believe that.
It's true.
But not the whole truth.
You would never have stood so high in my affection as the bird.
But I knew that.
I needed your money, Mum. Don't you see? To keep her afloat.
But that wasn't all of it.
It was. I'm sorry.
I don't believe you.
I think you must.
No. No, I cannot. I will not. No.
Let me go. Let me go, dear lady, please. Let me go.
What will I do? Without you, what will I do?
Perhaps make your peace with Mr. Pilgrim. Put your trust in Robert. It seems there is no doubt he is watching over you.
Contract to your satisfaction?
Completely.
Bullen?
Baines?
Aboard ship, sir.
Where else?
Well, I'm not a man to doubt a gentleman's word.
Right. Take good care of that, will you, Dawkins?
Of course, sir.
And now, Captain Baines, shall you lead me to Bullen?
It can't be done, sir.
Why not?
He's in mid-Atlantic by now.
We never specified which ship. Did we, Baines?
No, sir.
Bound for America by now, I should think.
That's right, sir.
That contract's cost you dear, Onedin. You'll never get another one from me.
Your preference being steam, I never thought we would. Marston, Bullen honestly believed that that timber was his. I was satisfied. Otherwise, I'd never have let him go. That's my word as a gentleman.
I see no gentleman here.
Neither do I, sir. From where I stand, I see two businessmen who deserve each other. It makes me thankful that I'm only a simple sailor.